Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. And I've got JackMack in the building from Liverpool. And we're going to talk West Ham Liverpool at the London Stadium, 4:30 tomorrow. And do you know what? I'm excited, nervous. And yeah, I don't know what to expect. But Jack, how you been, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Apologies, we've got a bit of a cold. I've just come down with something. But thank you very much for having me on, mate. And hopefully everyone in chat as well is having a lovely evening. And hopefully we do get a good game tomorrow. A lot of goals, hopefully. And but both sides are absolutely flying, which we'll discuss tonight, mate.
I know, mate. I know. I'd like to sort of talk about, obviously, when I have opposition fans, I'd like to talk about their players. And I'm going to bring up one player who's been on fire this season. It's this man, Mr. Mo Salah, mate. Is he the best in the world at the minute, striker-wise, Jack, for you?
Yeah, for me, mate. Well, he's a winger/striker, and he really. But obviously, Lewandowski, everyone keeps on bringing up, and rightly so. His goal output has been ridiculous in the Bundesliga and as well in Europe. But Salah, given the league he's in, given the opposition, obviously West Ham, Cities, the Chelseas as well. It's hard. The biggest competition and the hardest in the whole of Europe for me personally, mate. The Bundesliga, the La Liga, the Italian league come nowhere close to the Premier League's quality. But yeah, he's I'd say he surprised us, but this is classic Mo. I think everyone's seen him in that first year when he did come from obviously Roma to Liverpool and took the Premier League by storm, and everyone was like, is this going to be a one-season wonder? And then as the seasons progressed, it was 2-season wonder, 3-season, 4-season wonder. And then he's just continued to score goals. It's scary, mate. The amount of chances he does miss in games as well. I tell you, if he buried every single chance he had within games, he'd be getting 5 goals every game. He's a different caliber of player. Obviously, Suarez made goals himself. It skipped past about 5 players, but Salah's got that clinical nature now, especially over the last 2-3 years, that even one of the United goals where he's standing and just literally one touch back in the net with ease, really, mate. But I think he will break that first season Premier League records, as given he stays fully fit, but he's so integral to everything we are doing, especially in the Premier League and as well in Europe as well, mate.
I've got to admit, he's class, mate. He destroyed us last year. He's world class, mate, and he don't really get the recognition, I don't think, like from other strikers who's been in the Premier League. When you sort of put him up there, he's sort of this Mo Salah. He scores goals for Liverpool, but he's not at that caliber from rival fans. Liverpool fans love him.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got to do, Jay, and everyone home. I don't. It's been 5-6 seasons now in the Prem, and I think if he was Spanish or Portuguese, I think he'd be getting a lot more recognition.
If he was Brazilian, he'd be right up there, wouldn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I've got to admit, I think he's top draw, and I think he's going to be the difference tomorrow between us getting something out of the game. We need him not to perform, and we need to perform totally. But yeah, I do like the look of him, mate. I really do. And I think he's been absolute first class for you this season. I like to ask my opposition fans, but have you been impressed by West Ham this season, Jack?
Most definitely, mate. Obviously, Antonio started the season on fire. You finished 3 or 4 points off Liverpool. I think it was like 2 points off a Champions League spot. You finished the season well last year. And you've taken to the Premier League like a duck to water, really. Like you've lost no form at all. You've just continued to climb, and that's very reminiscent of the manager in which you've got in the hot seat. Really, at the minute, mate, he's a very established Premier League manager, very resolute defensively. But it's this year I've been impressed by the balance in which he's got right, especially the transition from the midfield into the attacking areas, and obviously clean sheets are very important. So obviously, I think it was a couple of days ago, you conceded in Europe, first time in like 3 games. There's loads of crazy stats for you as well as us this season, mate. But yeah, as long as the owners behave themselves and continue to back David Moyes, regardless if that's in the window or keeping hold of players, most importantly. But if you do continue performing, like I think he will, there's a massive, we're speaking off air, mate, well, we have been this week. If there is an opportunity for a team out there to get top 4, and if West Ham can stay fully fit and even add 1 or 2 players in January. You never know, mate. Funny things have happened in football.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Are you surprised though, Jack, how Moyes has adapted? Like, 'cause obviously he had the Everton connection up there, and you see him probably a bit more than we did down here. But like, how he's gone from, because this team reminds me of the Everton team of old. Like the way we are, we're not full of superstars, just a hard-working team, and sort of get the job done.
Yeah, we've spoken over the years of knowing you, mate, haven't we, of Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp and the ethos. Certain managers, you've got to give 100%. I think David Moyes and Jurgen Klopp, they don't allow passengers to be within the squad. And if you have a wrong attitude or if you take the mickey, then you're out of the team, really. And obviously West Ham with a great academy as well. So there's always going to be that conveyor belt of players coming through. Like if they're good enough, they will, regardless of their age, they will be getting an opportunity, mate. But yeah, it's that for me. I can't understand why Man United got rid of him in the first place. The fact that they Fergie, out of all the managers, handpicked him to replace him, just says a lot about his qualities as a manager. And we know how good Fergie was, sadly, for Man United. But yeah, he's learned a lot. Obviously, in Real Sociedad, I think it was in La Liga, didn't go to best plan, Sunderland, even at Everton. But yeah, he's got that. He's improved the Everton attacking ability. Obviously, at West Ham, he's got a lot of more quality players going for up the pitch. But obviously, as Declan Rice, mate, I think he's so integral to what you do this season. I know a lot of people at journos have been linking him away, but why would you leave? He's a West Ham lad. Obviously, you signed him from Chelsea about age 14 or something, mate. But if West Ham do continue this trajectory in terms of the form, and if you do establish yourselves as a stable European side, regardless of whatever tier of Europe that is, it brings in more revenue, more respect from players around world football that want to come to. Obviously, London is a massive attraction for players as well. So, most definitely, mate, it's all positive.
I think, me personally, and Amy, when we signed him, I wasn't best pleased. Like, I thought, why are we going back to? Because they always say about players, don't they? Never go back. Like, you've been there once, don't go back. And I must admit, he's shocked me, Moyes, how well organised he is this time. But I think also he's got a good backroom staff there, Jack. He's got Kevin Nolan there, Stuart Pearce. He's got a good core of, like, it ain't just Moyes, it's everyone. This like of togetherness at the club. But I must admit, I'm thoroughly impressed the way he's dealing with it so far. But let's move on to this, mate. I was going to ask you this. How have you seen your season so far, Jack? Liverpool.
Positive, mate. I think if we can win against you tomorrow, I know you all won't want that, but if we can get maximum points, we'll be 1 point behind. And given Chelsea is like Burnley, Sean Dyche, the maestro, the ginger Guardiola. But yeah, it's good. Obviously, in European competitions, we've won 4 out of 4 for the first time in our history. In European competition, which is scary. But we can relax now and rest a couple of players, regardless if that's for the League Cup or the FA Cup or the Premier League, mate. But yeah, it's since Jurgen Klopp come in, he's changed the whole football club and the fabric and the thinking of the fans. He's taught us a lot. He's told us to calm down certain areas, back the team when some sections of the stadium were leaving early. He had a right go, and rightly so. And every avenue within the football club has been addressed by this man, and it's just a breath of fresh air. And we are witnessing legendary players at the minute, mate. I grew up with my dad watching Kenny Dalglish, the John Barnes, the Ian Rushes, the great legendary players, the football club. But me as a fan now, we're living in. Obviously, we won under Julia in 2001, but I was about 5 or 6. Didn't quite really 100% remember that. But this period now it just frustrates me that Man City are around, because if it wasn't for City, we possibly could have had a couple more Premier Leagues. But yeah, I'm happy and content, mate. But we just got to take one game at a time, because like we seen against Brighton last week, not all games go the way you anticipate, but it's just focus on one game at a time. And obviously, it's a massive game against Yola.
I agree, mate. As a West Ham fan looking at Liverpool, I think it's there from this year. I don't know why. I got a funny feeling. I backed them at the start of the season to win the league. I thought last season, Jack, was a bit a false dawn for Liverpool because they had so many injuries, and people made out that Liverpool was as bad as like there was nowhere going to be near the Premier League. And to me, I thought that was totally wrong.
It's like all our players had retired or something, mate. All these pundits get paid. Even when you say, like even the pundits, you're like, we're sound, obviously Liverpool, and that's what Jurgen Klopp wants, mate. Even like if people are underestimating West Ham, that's what Moyes wants as well.
Yeah.
The underdog story really of obviously define us at your pedal really in relation to we'll just plod along week in, week out, get our results, and we'll see come the end of the year. But yeah, it's Virgil van Dijk is massive. Obviously, Fabinho coming back full fitness, actually playing him in midfield, because obviously alluded to there, mate. We had like 20 plus pairings at the back last year, probably the most in Europe, which is quite mad if you think about it. But,
and really, you've done really well considering where you was sort of the turn of the year to sort of getting the fourth position. But you've signed a good player from Leipzig. I can't think of his name. Centre half.
Kanate.
Kanate, yeah, I like him, mate. I think he's a very, very good player.
He's bigger than Virgil van Dijk. I don't know how, because Virgil van Dijk's a big fella, but Kanate is actually bigger.
Yeah, but he is a very good footballer. How much of a miss, Jack, before we get on to predictions, is the central midfield player that you just lost this week?
Naby, mate. I don't know if you probably did watch the United game where we absolutely battered them in the middle of the park. It's frustrating, and I think West Ham have probably had players in the past as well that have been injury prone. You're like, come on, when can he get he's got 2 years left on his contract, but Naby, he hasn't really fulfilled his full potential, which we've seen in the Bundesliga, mate. But the dream midfield for Liverpool, when fully fit, is probably Fabinho, Thiago, and Naby Keita. But I don't think they've actually probably played one game together in like the space of since Thiago's joined the football club as well, which is quite staggering. But Curtis Jones coming back from injury, he's going to be very important. And obviously Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain pulled he got a rocket up his backside, and rightly so after the Brighton game, because that was a shocking display in the second half. But a much improved performance from Ox against Atletico. Yeah.
How can I put it? After I did watch the Man United game, and I thought Liverpool that's the fear I have. It wasn't. It was just routine, really. Every time they went forward, they looked like I was going to score, and that's the only fear I have. Moving on to predictions now is that with West Ham, I hope we don't set up and give yous. Don't get me wrong, we've got to respect you as a club. You're a good side. You've won things. Yeah. But we can't over-respect you and give you all the freedom of the London Stadium. Do you know what I mean? We did it last year, and we got hammered 3-1, and we could have lost that game by more, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But how do you see it going tomorrow, Jack, from your perspective?
Yeah, no, speaking to the lads before I come on your show tonight, mate, it's the thing, innit? You've seen probably as a neutral from the outside, watching Liverpool against Brentford, Brighton, or even clubs that have Liverpool. Let's say even Sunday League, if you get a team, any team, the great City side, the great Barcelona's back in the day. Remember Celtic going to the Camp Nou, sitting behind the ball, but they got the win. Any team is beatable on the day, mate, and that's the beauty of football. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, we're going to absolutely batter you," but it's important that we do focus, and obviously the transition, as we spoke about before, mate, top of the show. How David Moyes gets that balance between midfield and obviously the defensive work, but going forward, obviously the interchanging with Antonio, we have the players off and Benny, Bowen as well for now. It's about defensively, if those wide players of yours are switched on going backwards, most importantly going forwards as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's how we set up last year against you. We set up in a sort of like a 3-5-2 system, and that's one thing I don't want us to do against you tomorrow. I want us to set up 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, because I believe, from my point of view, is if we can stop Trent and Robinson, then we might be able to stop Liverpool to a point. Obviously, Salah, Mane, Jota, they're all top players, don't get me wrong. But we've got to stop that supply from Trent and Robinson down their flanks. If we can push them back, going the other way, it might make them think twice, especially with the likes of Bowen, Ben Rama, and Fornells going the other way. What's your prediction for tomorrow, Jack? How do you see it going for you?
And I'm going to be respectful, 2-1 to Liverpool. I don't see it. I know we've got a good record against you away from home, especially the Olympic Stadium. But as I said, football can be football. But I think the way we've been this season, even if it was 1-0, mate, we'd be absolutely happy because 3 points are so integral to the end goal, mate. But 2-1. But it's important, especially from your side's point of view, that you, as you said there, mate, that you don't show Liverpool too much respect, but as well, it's how you cope. And it's when you play the top teams, even when we've played like Atletico, the Cities, and obviously the great sides, Real Madrid as well in the final, the Europe. There's a small moments within games that can just flick within the seconds. Then you're 2-0 down. You're like, how's that even happened? But yeah, 2-1, mate. Salah and Mane for my goals, and Bowen getting the goal, mate.
I am going to go with a draw tomorrow. I fancy the draw. If we do beat Liverpool tomorrow, then we're serious top 4 contenders. And I've said that on other platforms. I've said that if we can nick the win or get the win against you boys, then we're right up there for top 4. I don't believe we can win tomorrow. I think Liverpool, we've got to respect Liverpool. They're a phenomenal side at the end of the day. And I believe we can get a draw at the game. I'm going to say a 1-0 or a 2-2. I think we can score goals, though. I think if Brighton can score 2, Brentford can score 3, I think we can score goals. And then we will see where we're at. But, I'm going to say 2-2. Hopefully Ben Rama can perform to his highest ability that we know he can, and Antonio can turn up. And I think if Antonio has a good game tomorrow, then it's going to be another day for Van Dijk. But if he don't, then I think it's a walk in the park for you boys at the back, especially. Like if Antonio doesn't turn up. But I'm going to go say a draw, mate. I'm going to say a draw. But anyway, Jack, plug your YouTube channel for us, mate, before we wrap it up, sir.
Just JackMack LFC and all socials, mate, YouTube and Facebook. But really do appreciate it, Jay, and it was lovely speaking to all the lads on the previous show as well. And obviously, Hammers, good luck for this season, and I'll be speaking to you, again for sure, mate. And obviously, good luck, and hopefully, you can get points off obviously like the City, Chelsea, and all that for us. So,
that's it, mate. No worries at all, Jay.
Cheers for that, mate.
Anyway. SE20 Zone TV. If you're new around here, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video. It goes a long way. It helps me out greatly. It really does. That's been JackMack for the Liverpool side, and I will be back soon. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Take care, and bye for now.